As a content creator, I feel like there's always this battle between keeping people sweet, towing the line, saying a nice thing so that you might get the interview, you might get the let into the gates. And then I feel like there's the other approach, which I feel like I often take, which is, I keep it so real with my audience. I say the stuff that other people would be scared to say. And that kind of grows my trust with my audience because they know I keep it real. I'm not scared to say Central C's a studio gangster or that Lil Durk's cooked and I think he's going away for life. That upsets people. I ain't getting no OTF interviews. Where do you feel like the right place to stand on that kind of dichotomy is, as far as, because I feel like you don't hold your tongue, but I would say you probably are more careful about your relationships than I am. Maybe it's different for different people, but just talk to me a little bit about that, towing the line, keeping it real with people, but then also knowing when to kind of softball and keep a relationship alive.
It's a balancing act, right? So for everyone watching this, your audience is more important than your guests. But there's certain guest relationships that are also very important that you want to keep. Like my relationship with Boosie is important. So when he told me, please don't do any more Charleston White interviews because Charleston is talking about my kids, I said, I get it. I mean, number one, we have the relationship. Number two, I see where you're coming from because I have kids as well. And Charleston went on to say crazy shit about other people's kids. So it's like, I get it. Now, if I was keeping it real with my audience, I would say, well, Boosie, my audience wants to see Charleston White because the last 2 interviews we did, millions of people watched. But that's not the decision that I made. I think Academics does a good job where, he has relationships with a lot of these artists, but if something bad happens to him, he'll report on it. And I think they have to respect it because otherwise he wouldn't be who he is and that relationship to them wouldn't be very important because someone else would come in and keep it 100. So Academics, and I've learned a lot from our relationship and watching how he does his thing. And I mean, the fact that we do each other's platforms all the time, I think is great because he's one of the biggest voices right now in what we do. So you're not going to get to this level if you're trying to kiss everyone's butt all the time. Because honestly, these artists, these celebrities, they're not going to be loyal to you. You saw me going through this with, Lil Herb, right? When he was still starting out, we did multiple interviews with him that did millions of views. And at that time, you could say whatever you want to say. Vlad TV was bigger than Herb at that time, right? At that time. I'm not saying still or whatever else. He's a bigger artist now. I get it. But at that time, we opened up, my audience and, he says, oh, you've done nothing for me? I think we did something for him. We played a role. I'm not going to say I made his career. That's dumb. Of course I didn't make his career. He made his own career. But I think we helped out at a time that was pivotal for him. But look what happens. Years later, suddenly he doesn't want to do Vlad TV anymore. And then he talks shit when I point that out. It just shows that these artists will not really have loyalty to you. Now, I could sit there and be like, let me just keep talking nice about G Herbo, even though he did like the Adam Friedland show and said that me and Academics have to give back money to Chicago, whatever, when he has, the stuff he says is way worse than what we've said. But look what happens. People turn on you. They get to a certain level. They feel they're bigger than you. They don't need you anymore. There's no loyalty. They're focused, it might be more popular to diss you than to actually do your show. And that just is what it is. And you have to realize that you'd be better off serving your audience, which means that sometimes you're going to burn a relationship here and there. But if that person is real and not just listening to what everyone else is saying, they'll realize that what you said was fair. And ultimately, it helped you grow as a platform. And if that platform is important to him, to what he's doing, he'll come back and rock with you. There's lots of people who I got the interview because of our public beefs. And Ali Choppa is one of them. I would not have interviewed Choppa if I did not publicly go back and forth with him. But the fact that we did, and it got so big, and then Academics stepped in the middle of it, and he's like, let me just get y'all on the phone together. And we talked. And it was a cool talk. Nobody was stupid. Nobody was ignorant. And like, yo, let's do an interview. It'll be the biggest thing ever. Like, this beef will turn into something which everyone could benefit off of. And he got it. He got it. Interview was huge. He went on to become an even bigger artist. Everybody wins. And hopefully more people can think like that.